I want to know what happened to my daughter.
Brother, my sister,
our father.
Well. I know, kinda awkward because I'm on my knees. Pause. But you already know. Go get your snacks. Now there's this lady who lived next to the woods, and she seen this car that was parked on side of the next to the woods. No signs that anybody is in the car, but she calls the cops.
She ends up going off the road and crashing her car.
Then later on, somebody else report about this car that's parked next to these woods, and it's black and it's in the snow and it's still there after hours passed. The person who called in to the dispatcher is a school bus driver. He was driving and he seen this lady outside of this black car. So he stopped the car, he stopped his bus, he got out and he went towards her. Here's where it gets weird because she was telling him, please do not call the police. Whatever you do, do not call the police. He was like, okay, I'm not. And she was telling him that, I'm gonna call this tow truck, you don't have to worry, everything is okay. So he left, thinking everything is fine, right?
I asked her how she was. She said she was shaken up. I says, okay, I'm gonna go call the police.
She says she's already called AAA. Well, this is a remarkably remote area of New Hampshire with limited cell service even back then. So there's no way that she had called AAA.
When he leaves, he like, nah, I got a bad feeling about this whole situation. So he calls the police. And that's when the call came in for the second time. The police told them that, yeah, we got a call earlier about this same car. We're on our way now. We're going to get there as quick as possible. When the police get there, they know that this girl name is Maura. And they say that it's no sign of this girl at all. They checked around the car. They checked around the whole area with these wooded, creepy little spots. It's all surrounded by snow. They cannot find her at all. She's gone. Immediately, what they did was filed a missing persons report because everything about this whole situation was just completely off. So they went to the father and they said, was she okay today? Like, did anything seem off about her? The father said, no, everything seemed perfectly fine. She's okay. She's good. What was weird about what Maura did is she told all her teachers that she had take the day off from school because there's a death in her family. And that was a lie. Her family member said there was no death in our family. She made that up. I don't know why she would do that. This is around mid-semester for her, so the police decide to check her dorm because she do live in a college dorm, and they notice that all of her things is packed. Not only that, it's very clean in here, at least her side of the bed, and it's like she was almost about to move without telling no one because the family didn't know about this. Nobody knew about this, not even her friend. Her wallet, her ID, her phone, everything is missing, but the day they filed that missing persons report, her phone wasn't used, her card was not being purchased on anything, as in food, drinks, whatever the case may be. So then 6 days later, they then search everywhere else. They do a way bigger search around this whole area, but still no sign of her. And what's even weird, it's snow everywhere, so you would think they'd find a couple foot tracks. They didn't find none of that. Not only that, there's dogs that like to smell and sense where you at with their nose. They only could smell her for about 100 yards and then it fades away. They don't know where she went.
You're positive right there.
The dog lays down.
Yes.
And one of the local rumors was Maura was buried in a basement.
So that only means between when the bus driver left and when the police came in, that was only a couple of minutes, by the way, when the bus driver left and the police came in to confront Maura about this car that's parked on the snow. She went missing in between that time frame and no one knows what happened.
Almost 18 years ago, Maura Murray crashed her car on Route 112 in Haverhill, New Hampshire, never to be seen again.
This story gets really, really tricky and I don't know what to think of it because it's driving me insane. This guy named Daniel decides to drive out and I believe he was doing an Instacart order. He was the guy that gets groceries and take them to someone's house who orders them. But his family didn't hear from him until this one guy named Ken was driving in the desert because this was the route that Daniel was taking and he noticed the track tires. Daniel ends up becoming missing for several of hours. In this big desert, he's not at his apartment. They even get the police involved to do a search for him. Now this guy named David came in and he said, wait 1 second, before this guy Daniel disappeared, he was acting very strange. Not only that, he said he was in love with this girl named Katie. He barely know anything about her, but he said he was so in love with her, he wanted to meet her. Maybe this person Katie, this mysterious girl, have something to do with his disappearance. Another guy came in by the name of Luke, which was Daniel's friend. And he said, the only thing that I know about Daniel, which what he told me, and the only thing that was strange, is it really wasn't strange, but he just said he was depressed. He was going through some things in the conversation in there. Then I went back home, and that's all I really know of Daniel.
There are some text messages revealed in a police report from Buckeye Police that show Daniel was texting with a young woman leading up to his disappearance, and she turned down his advances. He also delivered liquor to a woman named Caitlin at her home. She and her friend had invited him in, apparently, and they exchanged phone numbers. Well, within the week, Robinson reportedly showed up unannounced and sent these messages saying, quote, "I couldn't stop thinking about you." She wrote back saying it made her uncomfortable and that she didn't want to hang out.
As time and time went by, Daniel's car was finally found by some random guy. Of course, the searchers didn't find him. A random person found him. Well, not him, his car. It was slanted over, like he just wrecked it. It was badly wrecked. Daniel was nowhere near this crash site, mind you. His wallet, credit cards, ID, all of that was found inside the car. What make this even strange is the driver's seat, it was still buckled. His socks, jeans, orange shirt, all of that was found outside of the car as well. Even his work boots. He drove the car, he jumped out of it, took off his clothes, placed them purposely right there by the car, and just fled the scene with nothing on. Which was strange, because people didn't understand if he done that. Why would he do that? Now, as the investigators did the full investigation on this whole scene, they knew that this driver, which was Daniel, was going at least 30 miles per hour, but it didn't make sense because the airbags was out. Not only that, 30 miles per hour in this type of part of the area would not cause this horrible crash scene for this car. They said how this desert is built, you would have to be going a lot faster for this car crash to even be this bad as how it is, meaning that he probably purposely just jammed the car up, beat the car up, and then just tilted it over and left. Which kind of makes sense because they also noticed that at the top of this car where the driver's at, it's been hit by something on the windshield. It was not from the car crashing, it was purposely hit by something. Like somebody just hit it with something or threw something at it. And then they knew something more darker. Before this crash happened, it was multiple crashes. This car had been through multiple crashes before it flipped over and stayed there. Now, as much as people want to believe that he just faked his own death, a lot of human remains was found. Skeleton, skulls, a lot of human remains of different people. So people believe, is it a serial murder in this area who used in this area to murder people possibly, and Daniel was just at the wrong place, wrong time, going through the wrong situation? Now, of course, it's been over a year since he'd been gone. If you out in this desert and you lost and it's been over a year, either two things happen. Either you already had a plan or you dead. From this point on, this whole thing remains a mystery. Nobody knows what happened. Right, and that's the end of the video. Now, I know I'm ending it a little bit weird, but let me put y'all on this horror movie real quick on Netflix. Don't say I never put you on nothing. It's called Rust Creek.
These woods, they can be a crazy place.
And just look how weird and creepy this is. Wait for it. You're about to see him right now. Look at that weirdo. So from the trailer, she's about to go through a lot.
Seems some girl went missing up here a couple days ago.
I ain't seen no girl.
I'm about to enjoy this movie. Y'all, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Have a good night. And I love y'all. Don't have a nightmare.